and welcome to the Rhode podcast. My name is Jake Rhodes. I'm your moderator this evening, live from quarantine. All right. So I first want to start off by saying thank you for all the support and love we've been getting. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying healthy, staying well. We really miss talking to you guys, man. I know sports has been kind of down right now, but we as a team, we're trying to figure out the best way to still bring you some kind of content. So we're creating our own YouTube channel at The Rhode Show. Link will be in the bio. Um, and that's pretty much it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you off a question. You're going to see familiar voices that you've heard. You're going to see what they look like in their faces and their opinion on the matter. Comment below, hit us in the DMs, and let us know what you think. If you agree, disagree, we'll get a little banter going and some normalcy back into the world. All right. So again, my name is Jake Rhodes at Jake Rhodes 88 on Twitter. If you want to reach out and any other questions you want us to ask the guys, and that's about it. Let's get this show on the road.
What's good, everyone? Omari here, back with the Rhode podcast. Miss my boys. I'm back out here in New York. Miss my boys, Andy, Jake, and Mr. Sotelo. But like I said, I wish I could be out there. But now that the coronavirus is here, we could do it on video digitally. So we gonna give it to y'all.
What's up, Jake? What's up, guys? I'm doing all right in this quarantine thing, but I want to be let out already. So taking it day by day, and I guess we'll just see where it goes from here. But good to be back on the Road Show again. It's about time that we record another podcast. It sucks that we have to do it like this, but due to circumstances, I guess that's the only way we can do it, So
Here we go. First question of episode 25 of the Road Show podcast. If we can get sports going again, but must do so in empty arenas and stadiums, would you support that? Why or why not? Let us know, fellas.
If we can get sports going again, but must do so in an empty arena stadiums, would you support that? Why or why? At this point, yeah. At this point, I'm supporting it because if we've been gone so many days without sports. The NBA playoffs were supposed to start. I think the draft is coming up on Thursday, if I'm not wrong, Thursday, and that's gonna be having no one in it. It just sucks. It really sucks. So at this point, but at first I was gonna say no, like we can't do it without the fans. Like it just doesn't make sense. But at this point, we've gone so long. I'm desperate. So yes, I will definitely bring basketball. It's any sport. I'll do it without fans. I'm sorry. I'll do it.
So the question, I guess, is should we have sports come back even if it's in empty arenas? It's a tough one because usually I'd be the type to say, no. If you can't have the full experience, then why even have it at all? I wouldn't. It'd be kind of weird adjusting to seeing your favorite team or even two really good teams play at like historic stadiums or stadiums that are known for their, the crowd gets into it. That's a huge part of having home field advantage. So it'd be a little weird, I think, to adjust to it, but honestly, it's been a rough, I want to say 30 plus days with no sports whatsoever unless they're replays or, throwback games or simulations on, video games. I, for one, actually might be now leaning into the opinion of, yeah, bring it back. Like, I would kill to watch any live sport right now. Anything. I'd watch golf. I mean, nothing's wrong with golf, but it's not my usual go-to. I'd watch anything right now, competitive, professional sport, something that I could actually sit down and enjoy. It's been a month. They say you never really know what you have until it's taken from you. And I think this is exactly hitting the nail on the head. Just bring it back. I don't care if the stadium's empty. I don't care if the same guy's narrating every single game, commentating on every single play. Bring it back. Baseball, anything, upcoming football, the NBA, anything. Just bring it back. I don't care if the arenas are empty. Bring it back, 100%.
If we can get sports going again in empty arenas and stadiums, I'm all for it. I mean, the safety of the players, is always key in these things. And, with what's going on right now, who knows when it's actually going to clear up. But I mean, I feel like sports will always be that escape for everyone to forget about what's going on in their lives and everything. So I think sports helps out a lot. I mean, ESPN has been doing a real great job, showing old games and stuff. But I think this current NBA season in particular was so great. Because so many teams were like so many great teams had a shot this year. So it kind of sucks to see that kind of up in the air as far as whether they're continuing the season, whether they're going to stop the season. And it sucks because my Lakers. This was the year. This was LeBron and AD's year. But I think arenas, empty arenas and stadiums are a good idea for right now. I mean, as far as pro wrestling, the WWE has done it. I mean, they went the wrong way about it, but it's something. It gives the people who want to work something to do. But I mean, you got to be smart about it. Take the safe route, make sure all the players get tested, and won't be able to catch it, and make it safe for everyone. I think it can be easily managed.
Fast forward 8 seasons. Of all the players that will be taken in the 2020 NFL Draft, who will have had the best career up to this point and why? Stay tuned. NFL Draft virtual style starts this Thursday.
So fast forward 8 seasons of all the players in this 2020 NFL draft, who have had the best season and why? Well, you have a lot of good players coming up in this draft. You got probably the best receiver in the draft, Jerry Jeudy. This dude's route running is ridiculous. You got the fastest receiver in Ruggs. You got Joe Burrow coming off his Heisman season, and people are talking about him saying that it's just 1 year, the best year ever, but they're just saying it's just this year. You got Tua, who they're saying is the best quarterback in the draft, the best player in the draft, who should go number one, number two. And you got my guy, who I pray the Chargers pick up, Isaiah Simmons, because he'll be perfect for us, for our defense, a hybrid linebacker. He's so good, man. He's so good. Everybody wants him. I know he's probably going to go number 4, 3, maybe 4. But I hope he falls. I just hope he falls. But who I think is going to have the best career, I'm going to say Tua. Because he's fundamentally sound. I'm going to go ahead and say Tua.
What's going on, everybody? Jake Rhodes here. I'll be answering questions as well as producing. So for me, I'm on number 2 right now. We're asking who will be the best player out of this draft 8 years from now. Not this his rookie year, not a full career. Just 8 years. He's a vet. Who's going to be that guy from this class? And as producer of this episode, I got to see everybody's else answers first. So I saw Amari's. Isaiah Simmons, a great call. Hybrid from Clemson. They list him at the linebacker, but he plays it all. Last season, he played every position except defensive line. Linebacker, corner, safety, do it all. Guy that's 6'3", 240, 250 that runs a 4.4 40. It's ridiculous. So definitely a great call by Amari. I'm going to give you a different player just to give you guys some other perspective that I think is going to be a hit, and it's Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver at Alabama. Everything I've read, every scout says he's the home run, the slam dunk. He will not be a miss. He'll be an all-pro receiver his whole career. He's got all the tangibles. He's very fast, fantastic hands. Makes your quarterback's life a hell of a lot easier when you got someone you can rely on like that. Just seems to be a straight stud. And the thing with him is, I think with Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, he's got to be top 4 or 5. Like, it has to be. That's what we think. With Jerry Jeudy, we just don't know. He's so talented. He could be in the top 5 or 6 himself. My Raiders at 12, we could use him. That's I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think he'll be around that long. So we'll see how it goes. CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma was also one I was kind of back and forth on. But everything I read was Jerry Jeudy is that guy. So for me, I'm going to pick Jerry Jeudy. Will be an all-pro, best career out of all these rookies in 8 years from now. Question number 3. What position group is more talented in the 2020 NFL Draft? quarterbacks or wide receivers? Gotta explain why, fellas.
All right, we're talking 2020 draft. We're talking about QBs, wide receivers, who has the most talented side of the class. It's a tough one for me. I've been going kind of back and forth on it for a little while, and some of the deciding factors aren't really exactly what some people might agree with. With me, it's just going to kind of boil down to who's going to have the better chance at a better career going forward after getting drafted. But talent-wise, just based off what they did in college, it makes it really tough because you got people from the same team, same classes, kind of going into the draft together, which are like combos, like QB wide receiver combos, like uh, Ruggs and Judy from Alabama are going with Tua Tagovailoa. You could look at the time they spent on one team. Same thing with just Jefferson and Joe Burrows. Uh, they were essential to each other to win the championship, along with other receivers on the team. So after looking at it, I kind of took 4 to 5 QBs, 4 to 5 receivers, and kind of just thought it in my head, the process, let it go through, and I thought, okay, I'm looking at the quarterbacks and I'm imagining them on certain teams that are probably going to draft them, or just in general, if they're even going to get a spot. Trying to think back to what teams might be in need of quarterbacks, and Joe Burrows, along with Jake Fromm, Jalen Hurts, and Tua Tagovailoa, I feel like during their time in college, at one point were the most talked about quarterbacks. And if not the most talked about, they were definitely mentioned in the same sentence as the others at some point as being at the top of their game. So to me, any one of those guys has the possibility to succeed in the NFL. Will they be able to? We've seen the transition's been really tough for some quarterbacks that have gone out, in the first round, second round to teams. Like the Arizona Cardinals took 2, and, they have Kyler Murray now, but they sent Josh Rosen over to Miami. We got Darnold still kind of trying to find his way over there, the Jets. So it could be tough to translate over to the NFL, but it's been done before, as we see with Lamar Jackson and other young quarterbacks like our current NFL champion Pat Mahomes. It's possible, but it's a little rough. Wide receiver wise too, I believe sometimes they get better picked. They get picked up by better teams, as the draft goes on. There's a ton to choose from, just these 5 in general. Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs from Alabama, T. Higgins from Clemson, Jalen Hurts' teammate, CeeDee Lamb over in Oklahoma, and like I said, Justin Jefferson earlier. Any of these guys, explosive speed. A lot of these guys have really good hands, really reliable hands. Uh, in general, I believe that there's a lot more of a need for wide receivers in the NFL right now. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the success of the wide receiver, only because I believe that they'll get picked up by better teams. And I just believe, in general, throwing an accurate pass is really hard. And I don't want to take anything away from the quarterbacks, but I think any of these guys matched up with any QB could make some amazing catches. Is it the same for the college quarterback coming into the NFL, throwing to another rookie receiver or a veteran wide receiver? I feel like the adjustment's a little harder. So, and I also don't know if these guys are all home runs. We saw them take over mostly bottom feeder teams for the whole season until the end of the season, if they made the postseason. So, I think the wide receiver is a little bit more tested, but it's just my opinion. So I think the wide receiver class is a little bit more talented than the quarterback class, and ultimately will be more successful.
Question number 3, guys. We're picking between quarterbacks and receivers in this year's draft. Both have a lot of studs at the position. We're asking you as fans, as well as my guys, who do you think will have the best overall class? So obviously people are saying Joe Burrow's number 1 consensus, so he's a quarterback. But it's not just top heavy, it's as a group. Who's got the most guys? So for me, I think I agree with Andy here. It's going to be the receiving core. You're going to have at least 6 to 7 guys in the first 2 rounds. At quarterback, we know there's going to be at least 3, and there's a potential for maybe 4 or 5. Joe Burrow's going to be in Cincinnati. That's just going to be a tough call for him. It's going to be real tough to get things going there for him. And then Tua, injury-wise, we don't know. The Dolphins going to roll that dice on him, or the Chargers. Justin Herbert from Oregon as well. Supposed to be picked in the first round. And then from there, you got Jordan Love out of Utah State, kind of like the the mystery man. No one really knows much about him because they don't have a whole. I mean, he has tape, but not a whole lot of expertise on like what's he gonna really be in the pros. Then you got Jake Fromm, who's top recruit out of Georgia, kind of disappointing end to his junior year. You have Jacob Eason out of Washington, another name that's being thrown out there. Jalen Hurts, the one-time Alabama superstar, then goes to Oklahoma and has a great year as well. It's and those are just some of the big names, but we just don't know where they're gonna fall and if they really translate to the pros. I think receiver, Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, which I mentioned in question two, gonna be stars, barring injury, of course. And you also have Henry Ruggs, who ran a 4.240 in the NFL Combine. So another speedster, supposed to have also great hands as well. And then it's a lot of a good balance. I mean, you have guys like T. Higgins from Clemson, had a great career there. You also have Donovan Peoples-Jones, who had a great career at Michigan. And then the Pac-12 had some great receivers from Colorado and Arizona State. Their names kind of slipped me at the moment. You also have Sims from Baylor. So the receiving, and Michael Pittman out of USC, of course. I mean, I got UCLA colors over here. Sorry, upside down. UCLA over here. Michael Pittman was a great receiver. He'd probably be a second, maybe third round pick. Some people have him sneaking in the end of the first. So receiving core is going to be super deep. So between the classes, I think the receivers are going to be the most successful overall. I think that Andy made a great point I want to double down on is quarterbacks are getting picked early like they are. Early, if you have an early draft pick, probably not a good team. Receivers will go middle of the first round, end of the first round. So you're probably going to be on a team that's pretty good, or at least decent. So that also helps with your success as well. So all those factors coming in, I'm going to state the wide receivers will be more successful than the quarterbacks in this year's 2020 NFL Draft. Questions have a little context with them. They're mostly for our listeners to be able to understand what we're trying to get out of each question, and also for my guys to not have to do as much research when they answer. So with number 4, it's a little long worded. Christian McCaffrey and Zeke Elliott just got 2 of the highest contracts for a running back in NFL history these past 2 off seasons. The experts are constantly saying running backs are devalued and should not be paid top dollar because their careers are shorter than most other positions. Do you agree? Why or why not? Show some love from the backs, guys.
Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott just got 2 of the highest contracts of NFL history over the past 2 seasons. Experts are saying that running backs are devalued and should not be the top dollar, be paid top dollar because of their careers are short there. It makes sense because it's true, because they're just taking so many hits. They're just taking the running backs are taking so many hits. But if you got a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who's all world, and I think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the game right now. I think he's better than Zeke. I think he's just better than Saquon Barkley. And Todd Gurley, he has a lot to prove this next upcoming year. He has a lot to prove. But Todd Gurley's good too. But Christian McCaffrey, dude's a dog. Dude is a dog. And so this dude he breaks tackles. He's a good receiving back. He blocks, and he's good. So honestly, Christian McCaffrey is one of the reasons you pay someone like that. I think they are undervalued. Running backs are undervalued because, yeah, they're only there for a few seasons. They're if you're the best, you're only the best for 2 or 3 seasons at most. Zeke was the best for about 1-2 seasons. Saquon's going through it. Todd Gurley was the best for about 1 year. And I think if you're a running back, you got to get your money any way you can, because they're going to underpay you whether what you think or not. But I think that if you're asking me, yes, running backs are underpaid. They are undervalued. That's what I feel.
Okay, so Christian McCaffrey and Ezekiel Elliott have drawn in 2 of the biggest contracts in history for running backs in the NFL these last 2 off seasons. People are constantly saying, running backs, should they really get paid as much as they get paid? These big payouts these players are demanding, their careers get cut really short sometimes due to the really aggressive nature of what their job essentially is. I think, personally, they should demand top dollar. Especially if they are game changers, depending on their use. For example, Christian McCaffrey, we've all seen, if you ever watched his team play, they feed him the ball constantly. The guy gets passes, he runs the ball, he does everything. The guy takes a lot of heat too, and he helps his team if they ever do pull out wins, because I mean they weren't that great. He does help them get wins, and without him, I'm sure that team would be way more of a mess than it was this season with him. Not to mention, just for example, Ezekiel Elliott too. The guy, depending on the team, I should say, is another big factor. Like the Cowboys, essentially and historically have always been the type to have a dual offense. They have good passing and they would love to run the ball because they love to have a great offensive line. See, the problem with these two examples is that people are always constantly comparing running backs to other positions in their longevity. But just because a player in another position lasts longer doesn't exactly mean it's worth it. We've seen this happen before. We've seen Joe Flacco pick up some of the biggest money for a quarterback ever, and the only thing he ever did was, I mean, I don't want to make it less than anything that it is, but win the Super Bowl, and then what has he done since? I mean, you tell me. And on top of that, you have other positions like, another quarterback, RG3, these careers can get cut short just as easy. Anyone on the field. Football is an aggressive sport. We've seen more and more players take the opting out of just retiring early to make sure they protect themselves, their families, and their futures. So if you're going to demand someone play a more, aggressive position, well, not demand because it's their job, but if you're going to expect them to perform top in that position, knowing that it's a lot more dangerous and they take a lot more hits than most other players on the field, then yeah, why not demand top dollar? I mean, these guys have to look out for themselves at the end of the day. I know it's a team sport, but at the end of the day, we've seen owners and sometimes other teammates totally brush their teammates aside, and we've seen the tragedies that can happen sometimes due to the repeated head trauma and things that end up being a result of not protecting themselves and their investment during their careers as football players. So I think that they totally deserve it, especially if they're game changers for their teams, which Ezekiel Elliott and Christian McCaffrey are for their teams.
Todd Gurley was cut by the LA Rams and signed with his hometown team, the Atlanta Falcons. He's switching numbers from 30 to 21. Now, most fans in the NFL understand that 21 in the ATL should only be owned by one man, and that's prime time, Deion Sanders. Two questions for you, fellas. First, are you shocked his number wasn't already retired? And number two, should he be the first Falcon to have his number retired? If not, then who would you pick? Let me know.
I am kind of shocked that the Falcons haven't retired his number already. I mean, he won several Super Bowls, I'm sure, or he was on the team, but I'm sure he was a big part of that. Um, but uh, for Todd Gurley to want to take his number, he should. Um, he should take it as a good thing. I mean, he wants to. I don't know if he's taking the number because of prime time or if he just wants to make it better. I'm not really too sure what his intentions are behind it. But number 21 should have been retired a long time ago, I think, in my opinion. Um, and yeah.
Question number 5. So our man from the Rams, Todd Gurley, he's moved on. He is now back home in Atlanta, Georgia. He went to the University of Georgia. He's played for the Atlanta Falcons, and he's decided to switch up his number. So out here, he was really known for number 30. That was all over LA. But he's switching to 21. And as most fans would know, 21 in Atlanta belongs to one man, prime time. Deion Sanders. Has to be. So in the question, first off, I'm surprised it's not already retired or hanging up in the top of the Georgia Dome or wherever they play now, Mercedes-Benz, whatever. Um, that's his number. Like, he was that guy. Like, what other Falcon is more famous? You could say Mike Vick, but again, he was my favorite as a kid. I just don't see a way that he ever gets his number retired. You just had to make that mistake, and that's just tough. So between Falcons, I mean, it's got to be him or Deion Sanders. So Prime deserves it to be retired. And Todd's not the only guy to take 21. I was reading. I think Marcus Trufant was number 21 when he was there. That one of their draft picks, and they were somebody else that Shannon Sharp, undisputed, give him his credit, was saying was also 21. So Todd could bring some juice back to the number and do it proud, but it should be retired already, man. I mean, I know they didn't win any Super Bowls while he was there, um, but they were sure as hell successful, and he's a stud. So, and he's one of my favorite players. So, prime time, your number should be retired in the Atlanta. Maybe after Todd's done with it, we can get up there in the rafters. So, Todd can do it proud, but only one Falcon really needs his number retired in Atlanta, and it's Deion Sanders. Plain and simple. Our boys in Las Vegas have released predictions for how many wins each team will get in the 2020 NFL season. I'll list what projections our teams got. Tell me if you think that number is too low, too high, or just right. Defend your squad. All right. Right here we have the Chargers came in at 8.5 wins. Optimistic Amari, let's see what you got on that one. All right. For Jamal, the Patriots 8.5 wins. The Raiders, my Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders, at 7 wins. Andy's New York Football Giants at 5.5 wins, and Dominic Sotelo, slowly Jaguars at 4.5 wins. Right, wrong, indifferent? Let me know.
The New England Patriots are projected to win at least 8 games in the 2020 season. This upcoming year, let me tell you right now, it's not going to happen. Unless, we get Cam Newton, or, Randy Moss wants to come out of retirement and get new knees, or something crazy like that happens, or, Roger Goodell pulls a David Stern and is like, you know what, I want to veto this Gronk trade and Gronk has to come out of retirement. Who knows? I don't know, but the Patriots, it's a rebuilding year, man, and it's a crazy way to rebuild with Brady just leaving, but it's it's gonna be a tough couple years for the Patriots. I mean, they got their defense every year, and still end up being pretty okay. But I mean, as you saw last year, they played some very good teams in the AFC, and the tougher offenses they just really couldn't get past. And when Brady has no weapons, there's no success in the season, no matter how great of a quarterback he is. So I don't think the Patriots get to at least 8 games. As great of a coach as Bill Belichick is, he's gonna have his hands full with this one. And also, it's the NFL offseason. The draft is here, and lots of trades. Free agency. Going on. I'm currently a fan free agent right now. I don't know if I'm gonna re-sign with the Patriots. I'm shopping a couple teams. Those Chargers uniforms look pretty nice. The Raiders are going to Vegas. I might go to Tampa Bay. I know Adam Schefter just tweeted. I might switch my fandom to Tampa Bay, but I don't know, man. It's kind of wide open for me as far as a fandom. But yeah, the Patriots winning 8 games is gonna be tough. They got to draft well for the first time ever in Robert Kraft's tenure. Besides getting Julian Edelman and Brady and Gronk, but I mean they have to, like, a lot of good moves have to be made for the Patriots to have at least an 8-win season. Will they win the AFC East? Yeah, probably. I mean, the Bills are still building. The Jets are the Jets, man. Like, come on, dude. Miami has a good team. Shout out my dog Nick Needham up in Miami, but yeah, nah, dog. I mean, the AFC East is up in the air, so I mean, that's gonna be a tough one for the Patriots, but who knows if I'll even be a fan by August. So who knows? I got a long summer. It's like when LeBron was choosing, go to Miami or stay in Cleveland. It's gonna be a tough choice. If Cam Newton goes to New England, I'm there, but who knows?
uh, right now, due to all the trades that the Jaguars are doing, um, to me as a fan, it's not looking good. Obviously, I want to have a positive view on each season that we have. But you know, uh, if we go through another losing season, uh, I won't be surprised. I said this in previous episodes too. You know, we're the underdogs. We're always the underdogs coming into the fight for the Super Bowl. So um, I don't know, man. Like it's tough. It's tough to be a Jags fan right now. Um, uh, the NFL might have it right. I mean, but as a fan, I don't want to just roll over like that and just give them that satisfaction of being right like that. 4.5. That's ridiculous. I think we were in the contest to be Super Bowl champions not too long ago. So um, the I don't understand where so much slack comes from out of nowhere. I mean, I understand the trades and all that, and right now we only have few players from that team now. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's just where it's at right now with me. I mean, we just need to see what they get from this upcoming draft as well. I think maybe that number might change. Who knows? You know. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. I mean, you guys have better chances, so let's see where this goes. I mean, I'm still rooting for them, still rooting hard for the Jags. That's my team since day one. Um, but let's see where it goes.
Las Vegas has raised predictions for how many wins each team will get next season. Oh, jeez, let's see this. Saints at 10.5, Chargers at 8.5. That's a little bit low. I think Chargers will get at least 11 wins. What do I know? Patriots at 8.5. They just lost Tom Brady. Gronk just got traded. I don't know about that. Rams have been trash. They've looked garbage. 8.5 wins. That's tough. Raiders at 7. Sounds about right because they're not great. Giants at 5. Jaguars at 4. But who I think, look, man, I'm a Chargers fan, and if you know what I'm gonna say, if Cam Newton comes to the Chargers, if Cam Newton comes to the Chargers and just does what he does and does what Cam does, what are we got a solid? We need a left tackle, but our offensive line is almost solid. Our receiving core is nice. Austin Eckler is nice. Our defense is elite. Elite. The word, like, our defense is elite. So we got a scary team, and I know you guys see the uniforms that just came out. The Charged uniforms that just came out are cleanest uniforms in the league. Anybody want to argue? Hit me up. Hit me up. But yeah, I think the Rams are not getting 8 wins. The Raiders will get 7. Giants 5.5. Yeah. Jaguars 4. They just lost Marquise Lee, so yeah. So, but you know what I'm saying. Chargers are coming with it, and if Cam Newton comes to Chargers, mark my words, we will win the whole thing. I'm telling you.
All right, guys. Number 6, we got Vegas predictions. So my team on the list is the Raiders, of course. Got to represent. Got to talk about my Marshawn Lynch shirt. It is Beast Mode's birthday today. I'm recording on a Wednesday, so April 22nd. So give my man some props. Beast Mode, Oakland's finest. But so in the predictions, they got my Las Vegas Raiders at 7 wins. And do I be a realistic or do I be a homer? I'm a homer. I said defend your squad. That's what I'm gonna do. That is disrespectful. Our own home city, Las Vegas, doing us like that. 7 wins. That's what we got last year, and we're better now. So that makes no sense to me, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not saying we're gonna. I mean, Chiefs are in our division. We're not beating the Chiefs. I mean, that is what it is. But we're definitely getting a wild card spot. We're on the up and up. Quarterback wise, Raider Nation's real split right now. I don't have any problems with Derek Carr. I don't take so much offense to it when people disrespect him and stuff like that either. But some people just done with him. But at 12, who are we really going to get? Jordan Love out of Utah State? I mean, Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round? I don't know if that's the answer. I mean, I think Derek's fine. Get him Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs or someone like that. Now he's got weapons, and now there's no more excuses. Now we really know what the deal is. Um, but 7 wins, no, we at least get to 8 or 9. I think. I'm not saying we're going 16-0 or even 11-5. I think somewhere's 8 to 10, 10 max. I'm saying 8 to 9. 8 to 9 is realistic. All right, so I'm not too much of a homer. But Amari's Chargers. I mean, what? No, so you replace your Hall of Fame quarterback with Tyrod Taylor. That's your answer. All right. So I'm not worried about the Chargers, and the Broncos still rebuilding. Real quick, I know no one's really a Broncos fan amongst the guys recording, but I know I have friends that are. Um, when did Drew Lock become anointed the chosen one? Like everyone's like, oh, they found their quarterback of the future. He was that impressive to you? I missed that. I don't know if I just didn't see enough Broncos games or what. Um, so I'm not worried about nobody else but the Chiefs. And Chiefs got it's in the bag as long as Mahomes is there. So I'm not worried about that. I just want to get into the dance. That's it. Just want to get to the dance. So I think the Raiders go a solid 9-7. Get the first or second wild card spot, and we just play from there. All right. I like the additions on defense. Corey Littleton's a stud. Jason Witten can bring some real leadership into that locker room at tight end. And we also have Darren Waller coming back, Pro Bowler, fantastic guy. And then, like I say, see who we draft. We got 2 first-round picks, and we have 3 in the third round. So 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Those are where really the good players are. After that, it's like guys that you might get lucky or practice squad type guy. So Raiders, a little disrespected. I am mad at you, Vegas. You'll start to love us soon. Stadium's looking fantastic, by the way. Good luck, SoFi, in LA. But yeah, it's definitely getting the 9 wins, 8 to 9 wins. So yeah, Raiders got it.
All right, so I guess Vegas is releasing odds like usual, 2020 upcoming NFL season. So I'm a Giants supporter, get the captain out the way soon. Here we are, Giants. And they have us at an astounding 5.5 wins, give or take. 5.5 wins. Usually this be the time where I'd cap on myself and on my Giants, because as a Giants fan or as any sports fan, you got to be able to laugh at yourself and take the bad as well as the good. Can't be a sore loser and a sore winner. So 5.5 wins. Looking at our tally from the last 3 seasons, which were 2017 3 wins, 2018 5 wins, and 2019 4 wins. So we haven't passed the +5 win barrier since 2016 when we were positive. We were 11-5. Defense has been, pretty woeful, to be as nice as possible these last few years. But the biggest thing I think that's been happening is that our offense has been just as bad. I think our offense is pretty good and showed good promise towards the latter half of the season last year. We have a fresh young quarterback. This is the first time Eli Manning isn't going to be on our roster, and I can't even remember how long. So that's Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, a few talented receivers at the ends. I think it's going to come down to, in all actuality, is what we pick up in the draft. And I have hope that, this draft won't be a complete remake of what happened last year. Because, we got Daniel Jones and a few other people, but I was honestly disappointed with our picks last season. Last draft, I should say. I think I want to have a little bit of faith for us in once because I'm tired of having such woeful seasons. I'm going to put us at 7 wins. I think they're kind of lowballing us a little bit. I'm looking at the roster or at the upcoming schedule, and there are some accessible opponents like the Cincinnati Bengals. We are going to come up against Tom Brady and his new Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I say we might be able to maybe split our division rivalry games, maybe take 3 at best. And Chicago Bears, not too good. We might be able to handle them too. Arizona Cardinals are on our roster also, or on our schedule, I should say. So I think there's enough games that we could, really, really positively, think about actually winning 7 games. So I think that 5.5 is going to get knocked out. I think we're going to go over that to at least 6 or 7 wins.
Question number 7. I made it very specific. These guys are picking NBA awards as of now. I know season's out of touch right now, But just for this, what we know and what we've seen, they got to pick between just 2 or 3 guys. So I made it pretty distinct on who we're going with here. All right. So NBA award season for the Road Show starts today. I'll give you 2 to 3 players for each award. Who you got and why? Alrighty, guys. So for this question right here, excuse the unprofessionalism. I have my phone close to me so I can read it. We're going down NBA award season. Just on what we have seen so far, I know we're kind of paused right now. So I'm going to go down all the awards, and I will pick who I want for each award and why. All right. So for Rookie of the Year, I put us between John Morant or Zion Williamson. Zion has been playing out of his mind before this happened. Excuse me. No corona, don't worry, guys. Zion was playing out of his mind, right? But you can't disrespect what Ja did the entire season. If they were to completely finish the season, and they played the rest of the games, Zion would play about less than a third of the season, and Ja would have played like 78, 79 games. I mean, and it's not like just a participation award. Like Ja was really good, and yeah, if Zion had kept these numbers that he had in this short window the whole season, he would run away with it. But Ja is that guy. He's the future for Memphis. They should be really proud to have him and Jaren Jackson. It's gonna be a good future tandem for sure in this league. Already fighting for an 8 seed. So I think if the Pelicans do get in and squeak into that 8 seed, Zion's got a fighter's chance. But it shouldn't. If that's the only way. If he like wills them to a playoff berth, that's my take. Defensive Player of the Year: Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis. Of course, I'm gonna be a little biased here, but Anthony Davis is just the thing with Anthony Davis. Here's how I would grade it. I'm not even sure that's how they grade it with the writers. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna give it to Rudy Gobert, but I think AD is first or second in blocks, first or second in steals at 6'11". AD can guard at least 2 through 5, and I would say 1 through 5. I've seen him do it. You guard multiple positions. When you switch, you're not in a hole. You put Rudy on a guard, they ISO, and then he gets to the cup. He can't block the shot. But AD can stay in front of pretty much anybody because he's quick and his arms are long. So I think he's had a great year. And the thing with that is he changed the defense of the Lakers. The Lakers were really bad last year. And adding him in the middle, and all of a sudden, it's a whole new defense. So I think AD deserves a lot of credit for that. So I would give Defensive Player of the Year to Anthony Davis. 6-man, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, or Dennis Schroeder. It's Lou Will every year. Can we mix it up a little bit? And honestly, this would be the year to do it. Lou Will's scoring average is still one of the top for a 6-man, but it's lower than normal. Dennis Schroeder's kind of come out of, I would even consider him for most improved as well. But I don't think he's getting as much credit for that. He is a former starter. I got to go Trez. Montrez is just an animal. And playing undersized power forward center for the Clippers, he deserves a lot of credit. He sets the tempo on defensive end as well, which Lou doesn't give you. Lou gives you points, and it's been a little inconsistent this year. So for me, if I was picking 6-man of the year, would be Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers. Most improved, Brandon Ingram or Bam Adebayo. That's tough. Both guys went from role players to all-stars. They're both all-stars this year. I'm going to give a slight edge to BI. Again, probably a little biased. But he's just turned it on. That switch we were waiting for here. You would see flashes on the Lakers. Little flashes. Okay, this guy might be able to be a star. But when they drafted him and they're calling the next KD, no one's going to be KD. I'm sorry. No one will be Kevin Durant. He's one of a once-in-a-generation type player. But he's a poor man's Kevin Durant. That's not a bad second. So BI scoring averages through the roof, shooting with confidence. He's in a great offense. Still got Alonzo feeding the ball, and Drew Holiday to give him some leadership as well. So I think I'd give the slight edge to BI. But Bam's been extremely impressive, especially on defensive end. He's a monster on defense. But I got to give it to BI for sure. Coach of the Year: Frank Vogel, Billy Donovan, Mike Budenholzer. It's gonna be between Mike Budenholzer and Frank Vogel. So maybe I skewed this question a little bit. I threw in Billy Donovan. He's not getting any. I don't hear a lot of credit. The Thunder were supposed to tank. Like they were like, okay, this team is tanking. Let's let Chris Paul washed up ass get out of here. Try to trade him. We can't trade him because he's too expensive. And we're stuck with them. We'll just let it ride and ruin it and end his career tumultuously. And no, they're in the playoff hunt, and they're going to be in the playoffs. It's whether they're a 4th or 6th seed, whatever that falls. That's hell of impressive, and the coach deserves a little bit of credit for that. So a team that wasn't supposed to be a bottom feeder turns out to be a playoff team. I think that deserves a lot of credit. So does Frank Vogel as well for managing all his personalities that he has on his locker room. But Billy Donovan's been real impressive, and he doesn't get a lot of credit, I don't think. So if I was voting, that's what I'd roll with. And then last but not least, MVP. Guys, as you see the hat here, I'm going to go Giannis. Nah, I'm just kidding. Go LeBron. Come on, dog. I'm not going against LeBron. All right. Giannis, again, he was great last year, great this year. Numbers are higher. But you can't, it's most valuable. And I feel like that has gone to the wayside. Because when James Harden and Westbrook were winning it, their teams would lose a lot of games. They'd get triple doubles in. Or when they were out, they'd still win games. The Lakers are so bad when LeBron doesn't play. So bad. It's like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the offensive rating drops like almost 30 to 40 points when he's on the court. All right. He runs that and orchestrates that team. Are successful solely because of LeBron. AD helps. But when AD's out there by himself, we're down. Our plus minus is negative. So most valuable, you can't pull LeBron out. You can't. Giannis, the Bucks are still have a winning record without him. So that's how I would measure it if the numbers are so close as they are. Giannis has way more points. Rebounds are pretty close, and LeBron has way more assists. So it's like, where's the balance in the numbers? But for me, it's value. And LeBron James is the most valuable player in this league. MVP, I believe, would be for 3 different teams. That'd be pretty cool.
All right, so we got NBA awards season. Tragic that NBA shut down the season. Just tragic, but we'll make do. NBA awards, I'm going to go through who should get each award, runner-up, things like that. Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson. I am going to go Ja Morant. Ja Morant, because I just don't think it's fair for you to take it away from this dude after he's already done what he's done. I mean, Zion is Zion. Yes, I understand. Zion is Zion. But Ja has already done so much, played a full season. And if you're just going to take it away from this dude for what Zion did in 3 months, Zion played about 3 months, 2 months. But Ja Morant played the whole season and been playing great. And we're just going to take it away from him? I don't think it's right. Let's see. The next one is Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert and Anthony Davis. If you're going to ask me, I think Rudy Gobert should already automatically be disqualified from the contest because of him starting the close of him starting the close of the NBA season, him being the reason that the NBA season is closed. So I say that even though if he didn't do it, obviously Anthony Davis is the better defensive player. But Rudy Gobert, all right, I didn't get my vote. He ruined the NBA season, so he's not getting my vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Sorry. Sixth Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, or Lou Williams. Lou Williams made his shot 6. Why would I go to even? I hate the Clippers, yes, but Lou Williams used to be a Laker, and I've always liked Lou Williams. He's a clutch player. He's a good player, and this dude named his child 6. How can I not choose him? And Montrezl Harrell is good coming up. You didn't hear about Montrezl Harrell before 2 years ago on the Rockets or whatever. You never heard about him. And Dennis Schroeder, he's cool, but Lou Williams is another 6-man beast, if I will. Most improved, B.I., my dog, or Bam. Bam Adebayo. That's tough because Bam has been playing out of his mind for the Heat lately. He fits perfect with that team because of the defensive mind they have, and just the way he plays is good. But B.I. is my dog. B.I. is a dog. Even when he was on the Lakers, I was telling everyone, just wait on B.I. Just wait. He's coming. Just wait on B.I. But we had to trade him for Anthony Davis. Yes, but now B.I. is coming. Excuse me again. For that one, I'm going to go B.I. I'm going to have to go B.I. because that's just He's Brandon Ingram. I mean, he's doing great. He's doing great. He started out really the first 2 years with us, or was it 3? I can't remember. First 2 or 3 years with us was not great. And then it's maybe just a fit. He fits better on a different team, I guess. No one, a lot of people don't gel with LeBron because Bron needs the ball for the most part. I get it. Coach of the year, Frank Vogel of the Lakers, Billy Donovan of the Thunder, Mike Budenholzer of the Bucks. I'm gonna go Frank Vogel with the Lakers, not because I'm biased, but because that this is his first year with this brand new team, first year coach, brand new team, new superstars, and the Bucks have had. Yes, the Bucks are good. Giannis is great, but they've had their superstars, they've had their team. I just think, and obviously Billy Donovan has done good. He was on the hot seat for a while with the Thunder, but I think it's the Lakers because of what Frank Vogel has done with the team. That's just me. MVP. Bron.
Number 8. Reports are conflicting all across the media whether the NBA will return this season, and if so, when. Put your personal feelings aside. Say the NBA decides it is safe to start operations again in mid-July, which means the finals run through September, October or so. Is that a smart move for the league? Why or why not?
So, one of the biggest leagues in all of professional sports, the NBA, is on pause like everyone else. There's a lot of conflicting reports, a lot of things that are, swirling around out there about when they'll return, if they return. Just for time's sake and for the sake of just answering the question evenly throughout all of us, we put a theoretical mid-July return, best case scenario, for the NBA. And in reality, I mean, it's possible. It seems really, really, really like far away compared to the things that are going on right now. We're in April, the end of April, and that's still about 3 months away. It's a good possibility, but I think the biggest thing, no matter when it comes back, would turn into a logistics and scheduling issue. Whereas we'd have to find the facilities, the states that might not be as affected anymore. We might have to find different locations, maybe even outside of the United States to just play. I think we'd have to forget about makeup games at one point and just take the seeds as they are now. Start the playoffs immediately. Try to get the season over with as little complications as possible. So playoff format up until the finals, which means if we were to start mid-July, the finals would probably run through about September, October. The reason that's a problem is because, well, the NFL season approaches and the competition for views, if they were to come back, I'm sure and the NBA logistically found a way by then to schedule and finish off the games, I'm sure the NFL would be able to follow suit. So they would obviously, conflict in terms of, views for the day or for the week. I also think, what would happen at the end of everything after it was all said and done, because you'd have to think about the upcoming season next year. Would you just push the beginning of the NBA season for next season back permanently and, start it permanently at a new day to end it in September and October for as long as needed? Or possibly would you just end the season whenever it ends and give the people that were in the playoffs extra days to, rest? In other words, the first games of the NBA season would be between teams that did not make the playoffs, and most of the playoff teams, depending on how far they got, would get extra rest or rescheduled games until the end of the season. But again, like I said, it'd be a Pandora's box of certain things. It'd be really, really hard to schedule everything and fix everything after. But I guess, I'll be selfish and leave that up to league officials and things like that. But, I mean, hopefully it gets played. I want it to get played, but that's my opinion.
All right, guys. This question's a little tough. The NBA, we don't know what's going to happen. Reports are so conflicting. The season's going to be over. They're planning to end it, and then it's like, oh, it could come back as soon as a month or two from now or whatever. Looking to play in different states. I just wanted to make it even playing field so we can answer the question. Say the NBA is okay. We're going to start the season mid-July. Playoffs are as they are. We're going to start mid-July. So that means the finals would run through early October, I'd say. Somewhere in there, roughly. right? Early October, mid September would be the NBA Finals. So is that a good choice for the league? Does it make sense? Of course, we want to see them play. Of course, we want to see games. We want to see the finals. But the logistics of it would just be real tough. Couple things. One, losing a ton of money because it's been shown no NBA game, no matter if the finals or not, if the NBA Finals game is on a Sunday, the NFL will dominate. NFL gets more ratings. It is what it is, and that would just hurt the NBA financially. The second thing is the timing. So say the season ends early October, well, season usually starts in mid-October. So now what do we do with the season? So Commissioner Silver, I have a suggestion to help you. All right. So just do it. Lose the money. It's fine. You guys make billions of dollars off your TV revenue. I'm sure you'll survive some rating hits. Get the finals done. All right. Next season, start Christmas Day. Here's why. Gives you a sense of urgency, which NBA doesn't have. These 82 games. I mean, the Lakers got a Tuesday night in Denver. Who cares? Or it's in Charlotte or some shit. Like no one cares. So get it to Christmas. That cuts out 25, 30 games. And now it's like, here we go. We got 50 games. Season's on. Let's go. All right. So you start opening day as Christmas Day. That's got to bring some of that revenue back you missed during football season. All right. And then that way, the season goes to its normality like it used to do. So you go from December, and then finals are in early June, and then you're back to normal. Because if you try to go a different route, I don't see how you'll ever catch up. You'll always be bumping against NFL season. So I think you just got to bite the bullet. I know it's less games, but I think in the long run, you'll make your life a lot easier, Commissioner Silver. So once you guys make that decision and give me my credit, send it my way. All right, send me a little check. This one's hotly debated, I think, in the media, but amongst us on the Rhode Show, we seem to be pretty on pace with this question, on the same page and such. Recently, 5-star high school basketball players Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd passed on going to college and will actually sign with a new team in the G League. Green, who some experts say is the number one prospect in the country and is already a lock to be a lottery pick in next year's draft, is reportedly being offered a $500,000 contract by this LA-based team. This comes on the heels of LaMelo Ball and RJ Hampton choosing to play pro in Australia last year instead of playing the 1 year of college required to become eligible for the NBA draft in 2020. The question here, guys, dramatic or not, is this the end of college basketball as we currently know it? Why or why not? So this question's a little controversial. I think my guys, Amari and Jamal, will be probably in the same mindset as I because we're all kind of like similar age. But the media's had a real hard time with it, and of course, the evil four letter, the NCAA, is not happy with this new outcome. So, 2 top prospects in next year's high school class chose to go the pro route instead of going to college for their one and done deal, and they went to the NBA's G League. So they made a new team based out of LA, and they're for high school players that don't want to go the 1 year college route. They just want to start getting pro, getting paid, getting the pro experience, and all that. The question I pose is at the end of the NCAA as we know it. It's not the end. There will always be college athletics, always people that want to play in college. But I don't think it's ever going to be the same. I don't think it can be. If you're getting Jalen Green was by a top 5 recruit in the country, and he chose to go to the G League. Just like last year, LaMelo Ball was a top recruit, and RJ Hampton was, I think, number 4 or 5, went to play in Australia. But now they have this G League at home, so now the guys shouldn't have to go overseas. They can just stay in the States. Getting there, play there 1 year, and then become eligible for the NBA draft the following year. Why waste a year in college? You can get into trouble. You're restricted. You can't make any money off yourself or off a contract. For what? You're not getting your education. Like if you're going to go for 4 years, that's a hell of a move because it's worth it. Your scholarship's worth it. But for 1 year, I mean, what's the point? You're already, I get it. And I get why he made the choice. $500,000 to play for free. I mean, 18 years old, you kind of don't really, that's kind of a boneheaded choice. Like you have to take the money. Have to. So the NCAA's got to get their shit together because if this is the opens Pandora's box, then they're not going to have the talent they normally have, and who knows what happens from there. So they got to get on board, I think, with this and give up the amateurism quote they've been hanging on to since the 50s and 60s and all that. Like you're making too much money to not be giving it to these kids. I'm sorry. Some of these schools wouldn't even be open without their football program, or their basketball program. So kudos to these guys. I know it's probably scary, but kudos to these guys for taking that step and probably helping out the future. Or then we could get this one and done rule just banished with. I know they're trying to protect these guys from just jumping from high school to the pros just to get paid. If you're not ready, league's gonna chew you up and spit you out. So that's on you to make that decision. You're adults. Don't protect them with this dumb 1 year college rule. Either go get your education and play, or let them go to high school for the pros and see what happens. That's on you. But at the end of the day, these are adults that have to make that decision. So we'll see what happens from here. I think the NCAA won't be the same. That'd be my personal opinion. And yeah, kudos to Isaiah Todd and Jalen Green and whoever else makes that decision to jump to NBA's G League.
I think this is a really good, smart move by the G League. I mean, it's come out over the last couple of years how bad the NCAA was, not just for the young basketball players in college, but football players, just all D1 athletes, in particular in D2 and D3. This like the G League was already doing well in the eyes of the NBA by bringing some of these players, or helping rehab, star players, getting them back in the fold. The G League is damn near almost as good as the NBA, and this is a real good plan. It's a real good idea. It doesn't throw young players into the lion's den if they're not ready, and it helps them develop. The G League is the developmental league of the NBA, and you learn the ropes from great NBA coaches, and you get in the facilities, and you're able to work your way up to getting on an NBA court. So I think this is a real solid plan and idea. I could see a lot more college players doing this. I could even see LeBron's kid doing it when he's old enough and chooses maybe I don't want to go this route, but I don't want to get thrown into the league right away. I could play a year or two in the G League, still get paid, and still learn the ropes of the game that way. But he is LeBron's son, so who knows? He might just excel in the league just like his dad did, maybe even better. But I mean, this is a good look, and that new LA team, like, they got a lot of money behind them, like from what I've read. So I can see a lot of college players, taking this option over going into the NCAA and going the college route. Because I mean, these college players should be getting paid. These college players should, be getting reimbursed. I mean, you're kind of getting thrown into life, and you're moving away from your home and your family to play for $1 billion, like, to play for these schools who don't really care about your likeness, or if you get hurt, or what you do after you leave their school, or if you even graduate. So I mean, I think with this G League program, they still let you go to school while playing in the G League. So that's also a win-win. You can still pursue your education and go that route, and you're getting paid to play for the NBA. So I think that's a real good idea for the G League, and I hope it works, as opposed to going overseas and playing pro, coming in.
You know what I think about that? I think it's great. It's great for the NBA because I think the NCAA is just a dirty, grimy business, man. They do stuff terrible. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I just know the outs. And the way they do things with these kids, they don't pay them. Even if these kids will accept money from coaches, anyone trying to help them, they get fined. They get their trophy taken away. These NCAA owners do not want these kids to win. They only want these kids for money. It's a type of mentality that they have. I'm not going to say it, I'm not gonna say it. I swear I won't say it. But it's the type of mentality these NCAA owners have, where they won't let these kids earn what they are rightfully making. This is their money, but the NCAA is taking it from them. So I think it's great for the NBA for these kids to do, and plus these kids are getting paid $500,000. They're actually getting their education too, and I just think it's good, and they don't have to follow the NCAA's rules. They follow the G League's rules, which is a lot better. And I just think I think it's a lot better. Don't I think it's a lot better. That's just my opinion.
Question number 10. UFC star John Bones Jones was arrested yet again for a DWI. Is his fighting career over, or will his UFC career survive another scandal? I'll leave this up to the experts. Let me know, guys, what you think.
I had a lot of I did a lot of advice. No, not advice searching. I don't know what the correct term is really, but I've heard the different people's opinions on this topic, the John Jones topic. Um, you know, it sounds like no one's really surprised, and you know what? To be honest, with the amount of chances that he's gotten from the UFC, I'm not really surprised either. No real punishment, really. I mean, he's getting stripped of a title that he can probably um, obtain in like a few fight. Like there's no one really in his division that's gonna give him a fight to where he's gonna have to struggle climbing up that ladder to get to a championship fight and then actually winning it as well. Um, there's really no lessons that you can really give him at this point. I mean, he has to want to work on himself. Um, it's tragic, man. Like cause he's a phenomenal fighter, one of my favorite fighters, and yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't. I. All you have to do is keep clean. That's part of the job. It's probably in the job description, I'm sure, and you get tested for drugs every so often. I hear, every more often than you would want to actually. Um, so I don't understand, man. Just having a good time. I mean, he's still young. He still has some growing up to do, I'm sure. And I mean that. I don't mean that with any disrespect. Like, um, but he has to put a lid on it, man. Like, it's like that stuff's not even cool. Like, that's nothing that you should be uh, wanting to give an example to people that look up to you. So, hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he wants to get better. That's the only way he's gonna stay clean. Um, I'm sure he's gonna get a title shot again, and I'm sure he's gonna win it again. Um, he should be focusing on moving up to heavyweight. I mean, yeah, to heavyweight, um, or even fighting maybe at a catchweight with Israel Adesanya. But I don't know where his head's at really. I've don't haven't heard anybody that knows where his head is at. But hopefully he gets better. Nothing but uh, prayers and from my side, hopefully he does get better and yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Really, I just don't know. I don't know what else I can do or say. As a fan, you can't really do much, and it's all on him, really. But this many times is kind of it's kind of not acceptable. It's not at this point. So
So John Jones, another DWI outside the ring, another scandal that has basically plagued his career. And I guess the question is if his career is over or if it'll survive another scandal. In my opinion, look, the guy's a monster. 23 years old, was the youngest belt holder in UFC history. He even had this fight against Shogun Rua where he stopped a robbery in the beginning of the day and then went on to dominate Shogun Rua to win his fight. After that, I just kind of went up and down from there. He had his success, he had his dominance for so long. He let's see, let me think about the first time it happened. Oh, suspended driver's license is where it all started, and from there it all just spiraled out of control. He tested positive for cocaine use after a Daniel Cormier fight that came out a little bit after, which was just the beginning of many problems between those two. They had brawled in the hotel room right before, so he was already plagued with looking bad. On top of everything else, he had car accidents where he was hitting and run. You know, he was fleeing the scene, injuring a pregnant woman at the time who was the driver of the other car. Again, fighting Daniel Cormier, the rematch, he wins, feels good about getting all his mojo back, and then again it comes out that he had some kind of banned substance in his system and he's stripped again. All in all, I think he's been stripped about 3 times, and you're kind of looking at the guy, so if you're a fan or if not, just looking from afar saying, you know, you could be the greatest. People consider you to be one of the best athletes in the world. Why all the extra stuff? And it just does not stop. And in my opinion, on top of that, other things have plagued his career too. At the end of his last few fights, people have been pretty harsh on him about how he's looked physically and how he's not really dominated as good. Maybe that has to do with the quality of opponents, but for example, a lot of people think there's controversial wins against Dominic Reyes in his last fight, and who was the other one? Santos. In his fight before, you know, Chael Sonnen was really adamant about pointing out certain rounds that should have gone certain ways. But is his career over? I don't think so. And the only reason I say not is because the guy is a fan favorite. He's one of the best athletes in the world. You know, I'm sure people's patience is running dry. I mean, I've even seen Stephen A. come out and defend him, but there's too much unfinished business. You know, he has Adesanya that's been, you know, coming at him, Blachowicz that he's been calling out, a rematch with Dominic Reyes, which is what everyone wants to see. I just think and he's talked about Stipe Miocic too, heavyweight champion. There's just too much. I don't think his career is anywhere over, but any day now people are going to get tired of him. It could happen. So you better watch out.
With question number 10, guys, I posed it to Andy and Dom. They're my guys I lean on for like UFC information and boxing and stuff. So they're more well versed. And like I said, I produced this, so I got to see their answers first. And they both said that John Bones Jones, like his nickname, is a bonehead, makes a lot of mistakes, gets into trouble with the law and things like that, issues with cocaine and steroids and all kinds of crazy shit. So I've seen him fight, and he's fantastic to watch. I don't know a lot about him, but kind of baffles me. And this isn't really. I don't have really an answer for the question. The question was, excuse me, is his career going to survive another scandal or not? Basically, and I don't know the answer to that. According to Dom and Andy, they both said like, yeah, he's a dumbass, but he's just going to climb his way back through the ranks again and win another belt because he's just so much better than everybody else. And I just have a question to pose to the fans, and maybe they'll comment on this video once it's posted themselves, Dom and Andy. But why would he get so many chances? Like, I'm just a little confused because, like, in the NFL or MLB, like, you get banned. Like, MLB, the first time you get caught with steroids now, it's like I think it's a 60-game suspension off the bat, like first one, and 3 you're out. Just like 3 strikes you're out, 3 times you're out. And NFL is really strict on, like, Ray Rice. One time got caught on video beating the crap out of his wife in an elevator, never played again. You know? And I'm just curious, why is his stardom so much more important than the look of the UFC? I guess because it's already a fighter sport? I don't know. I'm posing this question to y'all to comment on this, and also Dom and Andy when they can respond in the comments and stuff like that. But thanks for the answers, guys, getting the insight on John Bones Jones. Hopefully, just man-to-man, hopefully he helps himself and gets back into fighting. Alrighty, y'all. Number 11, we're doing a little fantasy style here. Pick 'em UFC style. You may choose a fighter from any time, retired or active. Create your dream fight. Go into detail about both fighters and say why you'd like to see that specific fight, or if it's already happened in the past.
Okay, so I'm going to have to go with my dog. One of my favorite fighters ever, Anderson the Spider Silva. But who would I want to see Anderson Spider Silver go up against? Seen him going against Chuck Liddell, which is a great fight. I think UFC, who I want to see him go up against. You know what? One of my favorites is also John Jones. I love me some John Jones. That they're not in the same weight class. They're not in the same way that they would never fight. But John Jones and Anderson Silva. John Jones got the power, but Anderson Silva is shifty. He's shifty. He'll get you in an arm lock, leg lock, up kick you with the up kick you with spinning back fist, whatever it is. Anderson Silva is nasty. Is nasty. I don't know who will win. I mean, obviously maybe John. I don't know, but that would be a good one.
All right, go time. So, dream UFC fight or fight I would like to see happen. There's three. I couldn't decide on one, but I'm ranking them based off of the probability that they could still happen or happen at all. So I have three, but only, two are kind of theoretically still in the balance, I guess, if you could say. Some kind of hope exists. So my first one is going to be the less probable one. Number three is going to be Randy Couture against Fedor Emelianenko. This is back in the day. These guys are retired for the most part, I'd say. They're pushing their, past 30, 40s, maybe around 50 right now. Legends of the sport, though. Fedor in his day was unstoppable. He was this European monster that no one wanted to come across. Same with Randy Couture. He was, one of the best that has ever stepped in and represented what UFC stands for. These two guys had many brushes where they could have definitely fought each other. It definitely looked like at one point it was going to be possible, but because they were in two separate organizations, one being UFC and the other one being, I think, Pride, it just never materialized, and they never really got on the same page about, cross competition fights. And unless one was going to sign with the other, which didn't seem likely, it just never happened. But it would have been, a classic East meets West kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure even if you weren't a fan of the UFC, you would have gotten a huge kick out of watching those two monsters go head to head. But like I said, they're around 40-ish, 50 now. I don't think it's happening, even though people like to joke around and say, those guys would definitely get in the ring with each other, some kind of grudge match scenario like Rocky against, Robert De Niro in that one movie. But I doubt it. Second one is the Diaz brothers. Nate Diaz is fan favorite. Nick Diaz in his day was too. Stockton boys from Cali. Slap box. Dirty style, get in your head and mess with you and like to mess with other people. I can't imagine what a fight between those guys would be like. Styles are really similar. They both like to, like I said, mess around. But the other thing about them that everyone knows them for is their iron jaw. They're fighters. They're brawlers jaw. Those guys get hit and messed up and never go down. I think between each one, they each have one stoppage, where they've had to be basically either TKO'd, knocked out, or submitted. Only one time each. If not, it goes all the way to the end of the fight, or they knock their guy out. That's what they're known for. And the last one, which is the most probable that'll happen, but it keeps getting pushed back, Khabib Ferguson. I cannot tell you how many times I've been so excited to see this fight since 2015, and each time, 5 times, it's gotten scheduled and then canceled. And at some point, it's going to turn into one of those Mayweather Pacquiao things where I hope it doesn't take way too long. These two guys are out of their primes, and it'll be cool to see finally if it ever happens down the line and that we do get it. I'd rather have it than not have it at all. But right now's the time. And again, 5 times, 5 injuries to each respective guy, a few. And now with the COVID-19 going around, it's just another bump in the road. I really hope that fight happens eventually, though. That's my number one. That's my dream fight. 2 explosive styles, 2 guys. They're now at the peak of their careers. It would be amazing.
Sheesh. Putting me in a predicament here. You know what? Fighters. Choose a fighter. See, I wasn't sure what you meant. No. Well, I don't know what you mean by fighter, but it'd be crazy to. Oof. That's tough. That's a tough one. I mean, if you think about all the fighters in the world and making like a or or if it's just UFC, let's just stick with UFC. Oh, you know what? I'll do both. But I got a cliche one for you. I got then this isn't the UFC. I'm gonna because the UFC ones it's really tough. You know, to be honest. There's fights that that can happen that won't, which is frustrating. Like the Tony Ferguson and Khabib fight. That one having so much bad luck. Um, Israel Adesanya, John Jones. That's one that not sure if it's gonna happen, but they're just chattering at each other. So hopefully that does. um, but there's a cliche one that I have for you that I would want to see really. Um, Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali, I think would be crazy. That one would be wild. The hype to it, and then the actual art form that would be displayed from both sides. That's who we're really gonna see who the best of the best was. Like I think, you know. But but yeah, I don't. That's a tough one. That's a real. That's one you gotta sit back and think about, you know. But yeah,
Number 12, risky question. Could go south for some people if we can't put our rivalry aside. All right. But I felt like happy times are needed right now, especially with everything that's going on. So this one should be hopefully a positive experience. Number 12 here. Who is your favorite Angel and your favorite Dodger of all time? Yes, we are arch rivals and talk a lot of smack, which is true. Um, but real always recognize real. Explain why for both players. Good luck. I'm going to need it too.
All right, so the Nemesis talk. Angels, Dodgers. I gotta pick my favorite one from each, huh? Well, as you can see, Angels fan. So that one's a little easier for me just because I've put some thought into this before. I mean, we got Vladimir Guerrero, we got Jared Weaver, two amazing guys that every time I went to the stadium, every time I went to Angel Stadium, I was always looking forward to see them. And I remember the fans, how they interacted with each of them, and it was two amazing players, one pitcher, and one prolific batter, fielder, you name it. If I had to pick, it'd still be Mike Trout, though. It had to be Mike Trout just because I remember, like I said, the interaction with the fans, the love the fans had for those two guys. But it was nothing like this. And on top of this, I believe Mike Trout to be the best athlete in the entire Major League Baseball. All of them. The guy can run super fast. He can steal, can hit, can field. He's got a cannon of an arm. He just, whenever you go to Angel Stadium, if you're an Angel fan, you should know this. Or even Dodger fans that come visit the stadium when we play each other. Or any away fans that come to the stadium. It isn't as lively as it used to be when we were more of a playoff team. And even before that, it wasn't as lively as back when we used to have, a lot more seats filled, when we were a lot better, when we had a lot more all-around team. But whenever Mike Trout goes up to bat, you even if you're not in your seat, you have no idea what the lineup is. If you hear the crowd roar for the most part, if it's not a run, it's 90% probably Mike Trout coming up to the plate. And I mean, I just watching the guy play. I mean, baseball isn't my number one sport, but the guy enjoys playing the game. He's good at it. He makes the game fun to watch. So here comes the harder part. So who do I pick from your arch nemesis? It's always weird thinking about this, but game recognize game, real recognize real. So I gotta say, Dodgers have a huge history, and I was looking through players and really trying to make my decision, and it wasn't easy. When you got guys like Sandy Koufax, you guys, playing Kershaw, Cody Bellinger, plethora of stars, Adrian Gonzalez, um, Valenzuela, but I have to go with Jackie Robinson. And that's just because just reading the history of what the guy did for the game is unmatched. It's really hard to come close to, having an impact on a sport like Jackie Robinson had with baseball. Not only baseball, but the entire world of sports. breaking barriers. The guy was an athlete. He was a monster. You know, nice, likable guy from what you could hear and see, stories you can read. You know, anecdotes that people have passed down over the years. The movie, his number. The reason everyone wears his number, on his day every year. I think it's the easy pick. Jackie Robinson has to be my favorite Dodger of all time. But it wasn't easy. I mean, when you got a history like the Dodgers have, for a player to stand out like that is even more amazing. So I stay with Jackie Robinson.
All right. Question 12. I thought it'd be fun to go down this road. Hate the Angels. Let's just be upfront about it. Not an Angels fan. Huge Dodgers fan. Um, but I had to pick my favorite Angel and favorite Dodger for this question. Dodger one's going to be way harder, so I'll go Angels first. Um, Rio recognized Rio. Mike Trout's that guy. Mike Trout's the truth. I wish he was on a better team. Get some playoff experience would be cool. But Mike Trout is probably one of my favorite Angels. It's tough. It's between him and the other one, I guess, is Vladimir Guerrero. It is Vladimir Guerrero. But I guess it's more. I caught a foul ball from him when I was a kid, so of course I'm a little bit of a bias, I guess. Um, but Vlad Guerrero, he's also just fun to watch. Just bare hands, hella pine tar, and just smack the crap out of the ball. I remember watching him play, and then I remember some of the other Angels too. Like I'm not a, I mean, like I said, I don't like them, but I respect them as a franchise. You know, we get the Tim Salmons, Jared Weavers, Troy Gloss. Damn, just blanked right here. Shohei's on his way coming up. Shohei Otani for in the present day. So they had some good guys back in Nolan Ryan, of course, back in the old days. They had some good guys. So then Mike Scioscia, former Dodger player, was the manager there for a long time, won a World Series. So always got love for him. For the Dodgers, my favorite of all time. I'm gonna break this up a little bit because I could just rail. I could run off like 25 Dodgers probably, honestly. Of the past, of someone I never saw, it's got to be Jackie Robinson. He was mentioned by a lot of the guys, even the Angel fans. Jackie Robinson, just purely on what he did for the game, breaking baseball's color barrier, 1947, would be impressive enough. And then he was also just really good. It wasn't just some guy they threw out there and say, "Hey, do this for us." Like no, he was an All-Star, Hall of Famer. Played multiple positions for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And then there's a great story that I've read. Don't know if it's just an old wives' tale or if it's true. Um, we also hate the Giants and the Dodgers. He was done with his career, and Dodgers like, look, like we could trade you to the Giants, so you could retire. Like it's kind of like where we're at. You're just kind of older now, and he retired instead of going to the Giants. So of course, got to respect that. And then Sandy Koufax was my grandma's favorite player. My dad has all kinds of memorabilia from him. Duke Snider got me in the newspaper, former Brooklyn Dodger. 1999, I'm on the cover of the sports section of the LA Times of me and him signing an autograph. So, of course, special love for the Duke of Flatbush, Duke Snider. And then present day, actually watching, growing up with, I mean, Clayton Kershaw, future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Justin Turner, present day, great player, fun to watch. Cody Bellinger's on the up and up, love to watch him play. Yasiel Puig was a fan favorite, along with Adrian Gonzalez, was fantastic as well. Couple guys that were like when we weren't as great. I remember growing up. Nomar Garcia Parra was of course, guy from Whittier, went to St. John Bosco, whatever, but still Southern California kid. Came home and was real great to watch him play. Loved JD Drew at a right field. Matt Kemp was great as well. Man, I'm just trying to reel off all these guys. I mean, those are probably the main ones I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, I could keep going on and on. Paulo Duca was a favorite of mine as well. Eric Gagne. But yeah, those are probably some of the list. I love the Dodgers. Can't wait for the season to start again. Mookie Betts is going to hopefully take us over the top. David Price can have a resurgence year. And we'll see. But let's go Dodgers. I love LA.
Favorite favorite Dodger of all time. That's a tough one. Um, Sheesh, you're just making me think right now, man. There's several. There's several. Obviously, you got to start off with uh, Jackie Robinson. He's up there. First of all, um, man, there are some. Oh, Matt Kemp that was my dude. Matt Kemp's my dude. Um, damn, man, why? Hold on. Jackie Robinson won because of everything he did for the sport. He played with so much intensity. Um, from what I've seen, I mean, I wasn't there obviously, but um, Matt Kemp, swagger, the swagger that he had, um, and then the skill, obviously, I'm not naming each player just because of how they look or what things they've said or, well, I'm talking about their skill. I'm always gonna talk about their skill first. Um, but damn, man, Nomar Garcia Parra, even though he was like a Dodger for like a minute, like for a brief minute, he was dope. Hometown hero. Lived nearby. Went to high school nearby. I'm sorry, and I would always uh, made me look up to certain athletes was not only how they played but their come up and where they were from and how I can relate to them. You know, those factors right there are really what draws me to an athlete, not just in baseball or just the Dodgers, but everywhere. So like, with these questions, it's kind of hard to answer because there's so many that either had a come up, a bad come up or a good come up, and yeah, it's things that things that I was able to take from it, you know, uh, but yeah, I mean that's a tough one, man. You can't give me these questions. No, this is too much. I want to move on.
Who is your favorite Angel and Dodger of all time? Well, I don't like the Dodgers, but if I'm gonna have to choose, I guess Yasiel was cool just because I liked how he talked shit. I liked his attitude. Excuse my language, but I liked how he talked. I liked how, because that's how I am when I play sports. I talk a lot, and so that's what I liked about Yasiel Puig. He trolls a lot, so that's why I like. But the Angels, the best player to ever touch a baseball bat. Somebody debate me. The Mike Trout.
Question lucky number 13. We'll get away from sports for a little bit. Just some personal stuff right here. What has been your favorite go-to quarantine snack? Gotta let me know, guys.
My favorite quarantine snack. Well, shout out to my boy Eric Lucas. He's a Postmates driver. Um, I've been ordering a lot of sushi on Postmates. So like a nice Philadelphia roll or a nice spicy tuna roll. I bought a bunch of Pop Tarts in bulk. I got a bunch of wild berry Pop Tarts that I'm constantly eating. This is the first time in my life, like first time ever, 26. I never put Pop Tarts in the toaster, but this quarantine had me bored one day. I put Pop Tarts in the toaster. I ate them. Best experience of my life. Like I see why people love Pop Tarts so much. So now I've been eating Pop Tarts from the toaster, a lot more often than just eating them, and I get a lot more joy from doing that as opposed to just eating them out the box like a savage. Like why did I do that as a kid? But so the sushi and Pop Tarts have been getting me by. I mean, I should probably cut down a little bit because sushi's very fucking expensive, and these stimulus checks, that you gotta make it last. You feel me? So, I mean, I'm still working from home, so I'm getting steady income, but it's the principle.
Favorite quarantine snack? If you know me, if you know Momari, it's candy. I just eat a lot of candy. junk. Metabolism, geez, sorry, helps me. But candy is all I want. And
My favorite quarantine snack? Hmm. Damn, I've been eating like trash lately. Uh, what shit? Oh, a lot of candy for sure. A lot of candy, a lot of chips, a lot of pastries. Um, but my favorite snack probably that I've been craving more often than not is ice cream. Ice cream, any ice cream though, cause I'm well, yeah, I am kind of picky with ice cream, but like usually I'll eat like maybe like a good like mint and chip ice cream, or gotta go like when McDonald's fucking ice cream machine's not broken, get a McFlurry or something, or uh, go to Wendy's for that little soft serve ice cream. Oof, that's good, especially now it's getting a little hot. I'm starting to feel it get a little hot, so um, ice cream's the way to go. But other than that, I've been eating anything and everything really. I'm trying to stay away from the sweets, but I don't. I'm not mad with some fruit with some chili powder on it. That's a good snack to have. But but the fruit here goes by quick, so we usually have more of the junk food than the good stuff. So there's no winning here. There's no winning. So yeah.
All right, last but certainly not least, question number 14. We made it to the end, and this one is another non sports question. Where's the first place you will go that you haven't been able to since the quarantine started?
The first place I'm gonna go that I haven't been able to once this quarantine is over, the gym, man. I gotta get back in the gym. We was having our twice a week hoop sessions at the 24-hour fitness up in Brea or up in Fullerton. I'm trying to get back on the court. I was finally perfecting my jumper again. I felt like I was a senior in high school again against Sunny Hills. Just dropping jumpers. But I've still been working. On my handle. In the garage. But yeah, man, probably the gym or downtown Fullerton. I haven't had a hurricane in a while, so that'll be fun. And I haven't listened to Bad Bunny in surround sound in a minute. So Matador in downtown Fullerton or 24-hour fitness, whichever one comes first. That's gonna be the first spot I go to once this quarantine is over. I'm not gonna say a food spot because I can get food to go. I'm not really at a loss for food. But yeah, downtown Fullerton. Yeah, yeah.
Oof. There's a lot of places I want to go, man. I want to travel. I want to. One trip that I was gonna have this April was to Texas, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to that. I mean, the flights are still, they're still flying out, but everything in Texas is closed, so there'd be no point to really going. Um, but yeah, traveling, Miami. I want to go to Miami. If I want, and not to go too far, but like even some local spots. Like I'm uh, a really big. Uh, I'm big on finding new restaurants and trying them out. Just for not only for their food but for their drinks as well. Um, there's a I have a I have a Yelp list that I need to run through. So yeah, I need to get on that and see where it goes from there. Um, I mean, it's tough right now, man. This quarantine thing has me driving me crazy. You know, and then just seeing you guys. Hanging out with you guys. That's another thing I want to do. You know, um, nothing too crazy, but it's the little things, little things like that that I miss. So yeah, hopefully this all ends soon. Um, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, as soon as this is all over, where am I gonna want to go most after this whole quarantine blows over? It's a tough one. I put a lot of thought into it, and I came down to two, kind of maybe three options of the things that I want to do the most. They all have one thing in common, but I'll come to that later. Mexican restaurant happy hour, Bub's at the ballpark in San Diego with the boys and the homies, on both sides. So that's what it has in common. I think after this, a lot of us are going to appreciate that more. I think the one thing a lot of us are craving is just, human interaction, getting together with our friends again, going to certain places. Even if we were to go down to the shitty bar across the street, it'd probably be a lot fun, a lot more fun. We'd probably take it, a lot less for granted now than before. But in general, I kind of came down to the idea that no matter where we would go after this or where we'd be allowed to go, it'd be great as long as there was people there. I've been thinking about, I want to go to concerts and events and a stadium to watch a game, sporting events. Realistically, I don't think any of those things, as we can see, is going to happen for the foreseeable future in terms of large gatherings. So those are the two I came up with. Bub's at the ballpark, Mexican restaurant happy hour. One of those two with the squad, with the friends, and anyone else who wants to come. Just make new friends. And I know one of you guys is going to say Bub's at the ballpark. I'm almost positive. I'm looking at Jake. I'm looking at Amari. I'm looking at Dom. And anyone else who knows what that is. I know one of you guys is going to say it. Especially you, Jake. I know for a fact you're going to say it.
Where's one place I have been able to go that I like to in this quarantine and stuff? Restaurant wise, we can pretty much get whatever we want. There's two places in mind that we can't. Korean barbecue, just blanket statement. Would just love to have Korean barbecue again, especially with the homies. Um, and then Andy kind of touched on it, so kind of lost some of its lore. But Bub's at the ballpark in San Diego. A random overnight trip with Dom and Andy and Amari's got to be in the works soon, hopefully soon. We got to get Jamal and get some other guys out there, get some Geezy out there, and all those guys. Yeah, Bub's gonna have to be a must, like sooner rather than later, once this is over. And then just going out. I mean, downtown Fullerton. I live right here, so walking up there is always fun. Going to some breweries again would just be fun. Um, but just anywhere that I'm with my friends, and my girlfriend and my roommates and the people like I really care about and love spending time with, anywhere that involves them or my families too. I really do miss my family. Being in this quarantine, I don't see a lot of them. So yeah, that's probably the move. Definitely Bubs, Korean barbecue, a brewery of some sort, and a bar of some sort with great company. That is what I'm looking forward to the most.
I hope everybody's doing good, man, because this is tough. This is tough for everyone. Not even just me, even all my coworkers, everybody out there listening, man. I know it's tough, but please try and stay inside because we trying to have a summer out here. We trying to have a 2020 summer at least. Just make good for the season. Let's make good for the season. At least have a 2020 summer. If we can't have the first half of the year, let's have the second half. You feel me? That's me. Stay good, y'all. Stay safe. Mara here. Peace.
All right, guys. See you around. Miss you guys.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me on. Um, this whole video chat thing, it's tough, man. Uh, you know, hopefully we can come to you guys with more episodes. And right now we're just doing our best to kind of just give you guys content, give you guys updates on certain things. Well, most importantly, sports, and just regular world stuff, regular life stuff. So yeah, see you guys on the next episode. Not sure how it's gonna be, if it's like this, then you're gonna get me like this again. But if not, then you know, uh, we'll be chopping it up in the studio. So yeah, I'll see you guys.
All right, guys. This wraps up episode 25 of the Rhode Show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, checking us out, your patience. We love the fans. We love everybody that's reached out to us and asked us what we're doing, how we're doing. Definitely need to give some real special thanks to the guys involved. Jamal, it was fantastic getting you back on the show, my man. Love looking at the work that you do and hope to get you involved more and learn from you and pick your brain on these types of things. To Dominic Sotelo, producer extraordinaire. Great to have your takes on here as well and your help with me getting this video thing going. Really great to have you on the show. Amari, optimistic Amari Wildtower, miss you, brother. Can't wait to see you come back from New York soon. Again, great takes, great work. We really miss having you on the show, so hopefully this type of thing can get you on here more often. And of course, all reliable, Buena Park's finest, Andy Garcia, my guy. Thank you again for your support and your help with this whole process. Here at the Road Show, we want to let everybody know, stay safe, stay well, take care of your family, take care of your loved ones, and we hope this is over soon. Send everybody positive vibes. Check us out. Follow us on SoundCloud. We have our other episodes there. Check out this YouTube channel for more videos. Hit the subscribe button. And again, my name is Jake Rhodes. I was your moderator. And the Road Show here is signing off.
To live in Don, LA, California. What you say about Los Angeles? Still the only place for me. It never rains.